St. Mary's Mission Hospital is a faith-based Level 4 medical center that offers compassionate, affordable healthcare focused on uplifting the dignity of the sick.
The main reason why we were started was so that we can be able to provide quality services to those people who cannot be able to go to the high-end hospitals within the city, but they can be able to get quality healthcare.
For client-responsive inpatient, outpatient, specialized consultant services, as well as spiritual and psychosocial care, visit St. Mary's Mission Hospitals.
Some of the specialities that we have in this are pediatric cardiologist, pediatric consultant. We also have a pediatric surgeon. We also have a general surgeon, orthopedic surgeon. We have an oncologist. We also have our dermatologist department, an ENT department, and a dental department.
We also offer radiology services, maternity and mother and child health care.
Women who plan to conceive, from the time of preconception, we work with them until they conceive, or the ones who have already conceived and they would like to attend antenatal clinics. You're so welcome into St. Mary's Mission Hospital. We promise to give you the very best.
In St. Mary's, we deal with the wholesomeness of our patients. And we are very specific on diagnosis, we are very specific on supplementation, and we are very specific on even non-discharge criteria.
Our hospital is fully fledged with state-of-art facilities and medical equipment, coupled with dedicated medical experts to guarantee efficient all-round services.
Ukiita daktari, hata kama kitu yenye alikuwa anafanya anaachia hapa, nakuja naona mtoto. Walishughulikia mtoto wangu vizuri. Sasa mtoto wangu anakula, anacheza, ananyonya, nafurahia sana na nashukuru madaktari wa St. Mary's. Juu sikuwa na expect kama nitarudi na huyo mtoto.
Wanashughulika kila kitu.
We have a fully equipped ambulance which is available on a 24-hour basis for both critical intubated and non-intubated patients. Both our hospitals are NHIF accredited. We also accept other corporate insurances to ensure our services are more affordable and accessible to all.
Both of our branches are NHIF accredited, and we also take insurances as long as your card is active and you also have other insurances. Your bill will be fully catered by both NHIF and the other corporate that we do take.
We give our patients value for money because this is one of the cost-effective hospitals.
We stock affordable and quality drugs, and we have a variety of our medications to give sufficient services to our client.
St. Mary's Mission Hospital, we continue to decentralize our services for our patients' convenience, and soon we will branch out into Nairobi Central Business District at Cardinal Otunga Plaza. We will also be launching a dialysis and ICU units this year.
We also have an infectious disease unit where we have been able to manage our COVID patients. We are able to offer specialized service within this, and most of the clients are able to stay with the next of kin in the wards. We offer meals for the same and 24-hour coverage with medical officers and consultants. It is a very comfortable service, and we would wish that you would try us and you can experience what St. Mary's has to offer.
For general inquiries about our services, call us on 0777 663 441 or 0207 851 300. In Elementaita, call us on 0717 305 089 or visit our website at stmmh.co.ke. You can also send an email to info@stmmh.co.ke.
I'd encourage all to come, because when you come, you are assured of not missing the consultant. It's a good place to be.
Experience true compassionate and holistic healing, all in a one-stop medical center. Welcome to St. Mary's Mission Hospitals. Compassion in healthcare.
It is health that is real wealth and not pieces of gold or silver. That's a self-evident axiom by an Indian lawyer and a political ethicist, Mahatma Gandhi. Good evening and welcome to this live show on health. And it is indeed a chilly morning here in Nairobi, but this gives us even more reason to talk about health. Now, today's topic being hypertension in adults. I will be walking the talk with an expert, a specialist in cardiovascular and lifestyle diseases, specialist Dr. Gituma. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's time to know more about our guest today. Please tell us about yourself.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me today.
Welcome.
My name is Dr. Gituma Bernard. I'm consultant physician and specialist in cardiovascular and lifestyle diseases, and this is high blood pressure, diabetes, and most other adult diseases that we'll discuss today. But our focus is on high blood pressure or hypertension.
Welcome and karibu sana. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, all right. Now, on this hypertension, we will try to demystify this medical condition, the causes, the symptoms, as well as the signs and symptoms. And if time allows, we will be debunking some of the myths and misconceptions surrounding hypertension. Now, someone would ask, why hypertension?
Let me start first by introducing or making a definition of what hypertension is. Most people might ask, what really is hypertension?
Sure.
So it refers to abnormally elevated blood pressure. And for you to make a diagnosis, you have to correctly measure blood pressure either at home or in a hospital setting. And any blood pressure that is above 140/90, usually there is a higher number and a lower number. The higher number we call it systolic. The lower number we call it diastolic. So anything that's above 140/90 qualifies as a hypertension.
So that's when someone can be said to be hypertensive. Okay.
Yes, absolutely correct.
All right. Now, this is a serious medical condition that can increase the risks of other diseases. I believe Dr. Gituma can attest to that. And according to a recent research by the World Health Organization, it revealed that hypertension is a major cause of premature death worldwide. And in every 4 men, one of them is found to be hypertensive, and 1 in every 5 women is found to be hypertensive, or rather suffering from that medical condition. Now, on to the next question, doctor. What are the most risk factors that predispose one to getting or becoming hypertensive?
Interesting question. The most important risk factor actually for high blood pressure is someone's genetics. Okay, so we say 95% of people who are hypertensive, it has to do with the way your body has been built, and this is what we call genetics or family history. Nobody really can establish the cause, and it is primarily from somebody's genetic makeup.
Okay.
However, there's a certain percentage of people or patients who have hypertension that's termed as secondary hypertension, and this now can be attributed really to things like excessive alcohol use, kidney disease, cigarette smoking, and unhealthy lifestyle. Unhealthy lifestyle means you do not exercise, you do not eat healthy in terms of food that's rich in fruits and vegetables, and now sedentary lifestyle. We drive everywhere to work, to and fro, and everywhere we go really we've stopped walking or we've stopped doing aerobic activity. So that's really in a nutshell what is the risk factor for high blood pressure.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gituma. All right, now please share with us some of the common symptoms and signs, the early signs and symptoms of hypertension.
Thank you also for that question. Actually, we say high blood pressure is a silent killer because most of the people do not know that they have it, in the sense that it doesn't present with any symptoms. High blood pressure is only symptomatic or present with symptoms if it is complicated. So a few patients will say, I have headache, I have a bit of breathlessness or chest pain, but that is actually when it becomes complicated. But in majority of the patients, high blood pressure does not present with any symptoms. And that's the myth, that if you have a headache, or if you're feeling uneasy, or if you've lacked sleep, most of the people attribute that to high blood pressure, but that is not the correct thing. So high blood pressure is largely symptomless, doesn't present with any symptoms, and the only way you detect it is by taking a measurement.
Okay, so the best way to rule out the fears is to go for tests.
For a measurement, absolutely.
Okay, measurements. Okay, thank you so much. Now, is hypertension a lifelong medical condition, or it can be cured?
Absolutely. High blood pressure, once established, is a lifelong condition. And in the hospital, we get patients who ask us now, once they're diagnosed with high blood pressure, how long am I going to take medicine for? And really, when we tell them it is lifelong, they get discouraged. So we tend to say long term. You know, long term is not the same as lifelong. But the truth of the matter is, high blood pressure, once established, is really irreversible, and patients have to take medication throughout life.
And how do we control or manage hypertension?
Two things. Number one, get a correct diagnosis. Number two, before even you start medication, enroll or into a lifestyle program. And this lifestyle program that we're going to discuss involves the following: regular physical or aerobic activity. And when you look at international guidelines, or even our own Kenyan guidelines that look at control of blood pressure, we really emphasize a lot on lifestyle. So 30 minutes of a brisk walk, or 30 minutes of cycling, 30 minutes, those that are able to swim can do swimming, and that's 5 days a week. So in estimate is about 150 minutes per week for regular physical activity, and that is something that you sustain all your life. So for patients who are not able to do, let's say, physical activity or aerobic activity, let's say they have severe knee pains or arthritis, or suffered a stroke previously, then we say you do something that is called non-weight bearing activity, and commonly that would be maybe swimming.
Thank you.
So on top of lifestyle exercise, then there is the diet.
Okay.
That's, you're coming to the diet.
Yes, I was coming to
Okay,
that.
we'll go to the diet then.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, don't smoke. Smoking is completely prohibited in terms of controlling high blood pressure, and avoid stress where possible. We have a lot of our population, we're in the COVID era, finances are a problem, the family setup is a problem, there's a lot of stresses emotionally and psychologically. So limit, or if you're able to prevent stress, that also help in controlling blood pressure.
Okay, tell us about the diet, the dietary practices that one is supposed to embrace.
I almost preempted that, because it's a very common question that we get asked even at our place of work at St. Mary's Mission Hospital. Diet is very key in terms of healthy lifestyle and in terms of blood pressure control. So internationally, there is a study that has been carried out and has come up with a diet that is known as the DASH diet. DASH is DASH. So this is dietary approaches to stopping hypertension. So the DASH diet, if you employ it alone, will lower your blood pressure by between 10 and 15 millimeters of mercury, which is equivalent to one pill or one antihypertensive medicine that most of the patients will take. So what is the DASH diet? Patients ask us, and we usually tell them that this is a diet that is rich in fruits and vegetables, nuts, and by nuts we even mean pumpkin seeds, cashew nuts, or almonds, and all these things that most of the people really ignore, and a diet then that is low in salt or sodium. There are two kinds of salt. we have sodium and potassium. Sodium is really the table salt that most of us have on the table, and potassium then is contained in foods like fruits, bananas, citrus fruits, and so on and so forth. So we recommend using less than 2 grams of sodium within 24 hours. And what is the normal equivalent of 2 grams is a small tablespoon of salt in a day. That means the salt that you take at breakfast, the salt that you have at lunch, with the meal with lunch, even 4 p.m. snack or dinner, must actually be not more than a teaspoon of salt. So that means if you're making a meal for a household of 4 or 5 people, that if there are 4 people, then those are two teaspoons for the entire group of family members or population.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gituma, right there. And we take a brief break. I will be right back with more on hypertension in adults. Stay tuned.
St. Mary's Mission Hospital is a faith-based Level 4 medical center that offers compassionate, affordable healthcare focused on uplifting the dignity of the sick.
The main reason why we were started was so that we can be able to provide quality services to those people who cannot be able to go to the high-end hospitals within the city, but they can be able to get quality healthcare.
For client-responsive inpatient, outpatient, specialized consultant services, as well as spiritual and psychosocial care, visit St. Mary's Mission Hospitals.
Some of the specialities that we have in this are pediatric cardiologist, pediatric consultant. We also have a pediatric surgeon. We also have a general surgeon, orthopedic surgeon. We have an oncologist. We also have our dermatologist department, an ENT department, and a dental department.
We also offer radiology services, maternity and mother and child health care.
Women who plan to conceive, from the time of preconception, we work with them until they conceive, or the ones who have already conceived and they would like to attend antenatal clinics. You're so welcome into St. Mary's Mission Hospital. We promise to give you the very best.
In St. Mary's, we deal with the wholesomeness of our patients. And we are very specific on diagnosis, we are very specific on supplementation, and we are very specific on even on discharge criteria.
Our hospital is fully fledged with state-of-art facilities and medical equipment, coupled with dedicated medical experts to guarantee efficient all-round services.
Ukiita daktari, hata kama kitu yenye alikuwa anafanya anaachia hapa, nakuja naona mtoto. Walishughulikia mtoto wangu vizuri. Sasa mtoto wangu anakula, anacheza, ananyonya, nafurahia sana na nashukuru madaktari wa St. Mary's. Juu sikuwa na expect kama nitarudi na huyo mtoto.
Wanashughulika kila kitu.
We have a fully equipped ambulance which is available on a 24-hour basis for both critical intubated and non-intubated patients. Both our hospitals are NHIF accredited. We also accept other corporate insurances to ensure our services are more affordable and accessible to all.
Both of our branches are NHIF accredited, and we also take insurances as long as your card is active and you also have other insurances. Your bill will be fully catered by both NHIF and the other corporate that we do take.
We give our patients value for money because this is one of the cost-effective hospitals.
We stock affordable and quality drugs, and we have a variety of our medications to give sufficient services to our client.
St. Mary's Mission Hospital, we continue to decentralize our services for our patients' convenience, and soon We will branch out into Nairobi Central Business District at Cardinal Otunga Plaza. We will also be launching a dialysis and ICU units this year.
We also have an infectious disease unit where we have been able to manage our COVID patients. We are able to offer specialized service within this, and most of the clients are able to stay with the next of kin in the wards. We offer meals for the same and 24-hour coverage with medical officers and consultants. It is a very comfortable service, and we would wish that you would try us and you can experience what St. Mary's has to offer.
For general inquiries about our services, call us on 0777 663 441 or 0207 851 300. In Elementaita, call us on 0717 305 089 or visit our website at stmmh.co.ke. You can also send an email to info@stmmh.co.ke.
I'd encourage all to come, because when you come, you are assured of not missing the consultant. It's a good place to be.
Experience true compassionate and holistic healing, all in a one-stop medical center. Welcome to St. Mary's Mission Hospitals. Compassion in healthcare.
Welcome back to this health talk with me, Sasha Elizabeth. If you have just joined us, welcome to this health bandwagon. There's still more that you can learn from our guest today, Dr. Gituma Bernard, a consultant physician at St. Mary's Mission Hospitals and a cardiovascular and lifestyle diseases expert. Now, the subject is on hypertension in adults, and before we went for a break, we were trying to understand what the causes of hypertension among adults, the lifestyle practices that predisposes one to hypertension. We move on with the discussion. Welcome back, Dr. Gituma.
Thank you.
Now, please tell us, why do we need to treat hypertension, and what's likely to happen if we do not or delay to take action?
Hypertension is not just number. Mm-hmm. It's the most important risk factor for what we call atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. And by that we mean heart attack, stroke, and peripheral arterial disease, which really means it's narrowing of blood vessels to the legs that can lead to amputation. So just by treating and normalizing blood pressure from 20, let's say if it was 160, you lower it to 140, you could prevent very many deaths because of heart disease. That's the main reason why really we should treat high blood pressure. Other cardiovascular risk factors are diabetes, cigarette smoking. We've talked about physical inactivity, but the most important of this is actually hypertension. And that's why we really, really emphasize on making a diagnosis and even treating high blood pressure. And the other thing that we've noted among studies that have been done locally by our own Kenyan doctors is 50% of adults above the age of 50 years do not know that they have hypertension. So they are walking on the streets, they are doing their normal activities without knowing that they have high blood pressure. And then there's an ongoing, what we call target organ damage. It's damaging your kidneys, it's damaging the heart, it is damaging blood vessels, it is causing problems within the brain that may include early dementia. And so that's really the reason to prevent all these complications of heart attack, stroke, leg amputations, kidney disease that may lead our patients to dialysis. Then we emphasize that you control and manage high blood pressure.
Thank you so much. Okay, now, do we have some ailments or medical conditions that are a precursor or increase the risks of getting hypertension?
Yes, we do. Predominantly, we've talked about mainly lifestyle disease, and hypertension now has largely been classified as lifestyle disease. And we talked about physical inactivity, cigarette smoking, an ideal body weight. That means if you are overweight or obese, and psychosocial stresses, and then having first degree relative who has high blood pressure. That means like maybe your father or mother or brother or sister who has high blood pressure. That will predispose somebody to getting hypertension.
Okay. So how often should one visit the doctor when they are hypertensive?
WHO recommends anybody above the age of 40 at least should visit the hospital annually for screening initially. If your blood pressure is normal, then that can be done maybe every 3 years. If you're diagnosed to have hypertension, your doctor will give you a schedule for hospital visit depending on the severity of hypertension, because we usually grade it in terms of severity into what is normal blood pressure, pre-hypertension or just before you develop hypertension. Then we have stage 1 and stage 2. So to just demystify these stages, I can briefly give the numbers. So normal blood pressure ideally is less than 120 over 80. Pre-hypertension is anything then that will be above 120 to 130, and the lower one then will be between 80 to 89. Okay. Then stage 1 hypertension is blood pressure then that is above 140 to 159, and then the lower one, what we call the diastolic, is between 90 and 99. So that's really for us, but it's also good that we tell our clients what stage of blood pressure they are. So if you're stage 2, then you need frequent hospital visits. Initially we may treat blood pressure. In 2 weeks, we ask you to come back to hospital. We measure and find if you're having control, then we will adjust your medication and enhance lifestyle. But ideally, it will range between a month to 3 months if you have high blood pressure. And these are special clinics that we run, for instance, in St. Mary's Hospital, and patients come in between 2 to 3 months.
Thank you so much. Now, there's someone watching who would like to seek quality and affordable management of hypertension and other cardiovascular and lifestyle diseases. How would you advise them?
Now, we need hypertension care as a multidisciplinary team of experts. You have maybe the lead doctor, who is maybe a physician or cardiologist or cardiovascular disease specialist like I. Then you have a team of nurses. These nurses actually are the ones that screen the patient's blood pressure and weight and take temperature and other problems before the patients come in to see the doctor. Then we have a nutritionist. We have a team of dietitian who actually explains the ideal diet for the patient to use. We have counselors that if patients are stressed, then they're able to offer counseling. We have a team of pharmacists and pharmaceutical technologists who now issue the medicine that we prescribe. So this multidisciplinary approach is actually best available in a hospital setting like St. Mary's. When I joined St. Mary's Hospital, I found that that's an excellent place where we have the nutritionist, we have well-trained nurses, we have specialists, doctors for cardiovascular disease, we have qualified pharmacists, and then we offer this holistic approach to the patients and that have high blood pressure. Because managing blood pressure is not just about prescription, take this, see you next month. You need counseling, you need somebody to talk to you about diet, you need somebody to talk to you about weight reduction, you need somebody for those that have addiction, let's say to substance abuse like alcohol or cigarette smoking, you need a counselor to step in. So all this team is available at our hospital, and we are able to give the patients a holistic approach. And the motto of the hospital is, or is it the mission? Compassion in healthcare. So this kind of care is given with enthusiasm and with empathy to the patient. Compassion means you understand the patient's needs and you take time to listen to them, and then you deliver that care to the patient.
Okay, you really empathize with the patient.
Yes.
Okay, now there are some myths, a lot of them that surround this hypertension, just like any other medical condition that we have. And one of them is that once someone's condition has been managed and their pressure is not so high, they could stop using the medications. What would you say about that?
That's the biggest myth about blood pressure or hypertension that really we need to debunk. Most of the patients, when they come to us, they expect that they're going to take medicine for maybe the way we treat upper respiratory infection or a flu. If we treat it for 5 days, that you get well and you stop medication. That's the biggest myth about blood pressure or about hypertension. Well, scientifically, blood pressure is classified as a long-term or chronic conditions. There is 1 or 2 patients who really may withdraw medicine either because their heart has become weak or in instances when they're having loss of body volume or fluid like diarrhea or vomiting, and the blood pressure goes down. But as soon as that condition is treated, the patient should be back on their medication. So the emphasis is now counseling. It's very important to tell somebody that once you've started medicine, there's really no stopping. And if you want to live a good life that's devoid of all these complications that we have listed, like going thrice weekly for dialysis, or like suffering stroke and you're confined to a wheelchair all your life, then the best thing to do is take your medicine regularly and long term.
Thank you so much. And someone asked, does hypertension affect children?
Hypertension affects children, but it is not common. And really, children that develop high blood pressure is because of an underlying problem, and this is what we termed earlier, if you remember, as secondary hypertension. So it means there's an underlying problem other than lifestyle. So this usually commonly is kidney disease, and children get inflammation of the kidneys in a condition we call glomerulonephritis, and this will elevate blood pressure. A few children are born with narrow main artery of the heart that is called the aorta, and this coarctation of the aorta, or narrowed blood vessel from the heart, the main vessel that takes blood from the heart and distributes it to the rest of the body. If it is narrowed through birth, those children will get high blood pressure, and a few other genetic problems that involve now the kidney, that is the kidney handling of body salt called sodium. So that's the condition that in which scenario when you see high blood pressure in children, then you have to investigate the cause.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gituma. I wish we could talk on and on, but time is against us. And as we wind up, what are your last remarks, or rather your parting shot to the audience?
Thank you for that. And my parting shot to our listeners is the following. High blood pressure is termed as a silent killer. Silent in the sense that you have no symptoms. So please, even if you're not well, present to a hospital or the nearest clinic for a correct blood pressure measurement. You could be having high blood pressure. Number 2, high blood pressure when not treated leads to devastating complications like kidney disease requiring dialysis, heart failure or heart attack that could kill you, or stroke that could maim you or confine you to a wheelchair for the rest of your life. So if you have high blood pressure, visit a specialist or a doctor who is able to control your blood pressure, and you lead a good life. Then the other thing is, we do not only use medicine to control blood pressure. Incorporate the DASH diet that we have talked about in this show. Incorporate lifestyle measures like exercise. Don't drink alcohol in excess. Scientifically, it's allowed to have a drink or 2 on a daily basis, but do not smoke. If you follow these rules and you visit hospital regularly even you're not well, I think you will be well with high blood pressure. Thank you.
All right, now that's thank you so much, Dr. Bernard Gituma, for that quite profound, informative session on hypertension in adults. I believe we'll get more time maybe in the course of next week and get to inform the public more on the cardiovascular and lifestyle diseases. All right, now that was our guest today, consultant physician at St. Mary's Mission Hospital, specializing in cardiovascular and lifestyle diseases and disorders. Now, we were discussing hypertension. Just a recap, we just got to understand when someone is considered to be hypertensive, the signs and symptoms, the telltale signs and symptoms, the kind of lifestyles that predisposes you to hypertension, and just tried to debunk a few myths. Now, we will find time, as promised earlier, and get to inform you more. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this live talk on health with me, Sasha Elizabeth. As always, we are delighted to help you make informed decisions about your health and lifestyle. And now I would like to extend my gratitude to the team behind the scenes who have ensured that we bring you this live show in a very smooth way possible. We're starting with the person right directly opposite me, Christopher Odhiambo, our camera operator, and our visual mixer right there, Kevin Kitavi, and our sound engineer, Eric Otieno, as well as our transmission person, Peter Mwangi. Thank you so much, guys, for the jointed efforts to make sure that this live event is successful. Now, finally, as we close, be safe wherever you are and take good care of your health, as you've been told by our guest, Dr. Gituma Bernard, because your health is indisputable, the greatest wealth that you will ever have, the greatest wealth and investment. Now, take care of yourself. My name is Sasha Elizabeth. See you next time. Goodbye.
Capuchin